to go.
Right.
I mean, what are the lingering questions we have about where we can go, or what are some ideas about things that would help us gird our loins for battle?
I think we want to learn more about the rune heart. And so we're not sure if there's information in the book on that. Quick side question. If we try to go back and read the book again, would I have to do another saving throw to try to read it?
That is uncertain.
Okay. Figured.
Okay. Well, we have to try and read the book.
Do we? Do we have to read the book? It didn't seem to go so well last time.
Does it have to be Durotan? Because he's the one that can read all languages.
Right.
Ugh.
What language is the book in?
The book is actually in let's see. Someone can make a history check on that. And I'll be nice and say that you can glean it off of the title of the book because it's written in that language.
Latin? Latin? Didn't you say it's Chantico?
Oh, I did. So yeah, never mind. It is in Latin.
I'm still rolling for history. Oh, no, I'm not. Ignore that rule. We already know.
So, none of us speak Latin.
And no one would. But Durotan can read it and so can Winna because of the helmet.
Oh.
Well,
So
I mean, are we gonna ask Winna to speed read the whole thing? I mean, what are we looking for within the book exactly here? Because all I can think of is like we need to search for weaknesses. You know, I mean, it's probably I don't know what we don't know, but it would be worth reassessing what exactly our goals are here. And they're not all the same. I mean, we're a loose conglomerate of people looking for different things. I mean, as much as Durotan wants to find his father, I'm looking for a renaissance of nature, and I don't give a shit about Durotan's father. So we really need to reassess what exactly our goals are.
Well, I do think that collectively we realize that, we need to kind of put Chantico back in the bag, so to speak. That whatever we have stumbled upon with all of our stuff has revealed that Chantico is back in the world and all that. So we have to, collectively, we sort of have no choice regardless of personal agenda. We kind of have to deal with the rune heart and we kind of have to deal with Chantico. And we know that Chantico wants the rune heart.
Question. Chantico is everyone's problem. Why are we not getting some allies? If we're not beholden, it's not our responsibility to put Chantico back in the bottle. We didn't really open it up, right? It's not our moral obligation to defeat Chantico alone, right?
Right.
Well, we also went out of our way to not tell anybody about the door that Chantico most likely came from. Because we didn't think we could trust anyone with that information because it's big, spooky, scary stuff.
Mm-hmm. Positive, powerful stuff.
One thing that I would bring up is that, so number one, you've had some dealings with the Church of Dragonright, and you know that they've had a very negative past, at least in Sandpoint specifically, but probably on a greater scale, of opposing the Church of Chantico. So if you wanted to search for allies, you would have ready allies in Dragonright. And Dragonright is a relatively widespread religion in most parts of this world. So if you wanted to find a chapter or, a church or a center for Dragonright in Magnamar, there'd be a pretty sizable one where you could probably be offered some sizable help.
Okay, that's good.
I think that's a good way to go. We've got some allies in the giants, but not all the giants, and there are a lot of giants who are straight up against us because they seem to be allying with Chantico for the purpose of power. So I think beyond the BFGs that we've cultivated, we might get some Dragonright, whatever they are, whatever they've got. Just alert them because they seem to be the opposite of a Chantico army.
And would the Church of the Dragonright Well, I guess they would then also be invested in helping us protect the rune heart.
Yeah, it's a little trickier to kind of pinpoint what their reaction would be to the rune heart in particular. There are many within the Church of Dragonright who would be like, their instinct would be like, this must be destroyed. It cannot exist. It is one of the terrible things that was born out of the magic of the old ones, so on and so forth. There may be some within the church who would want to preserve it or study it. And so that is a little more nebulous, where you might run into someone who is one way or another, and it would be hard to predict. But the Shantico thing, they'd be like all over that and willing to help, like, you know, in a heartbeat, no pun intended.
A rune heartbeat. Got it. I think it would be worthwhile for us to make some allies here before moving on, and to go down to the marketplace to find the kinds of weapons and armor that are especially useful. So we've noticed that they tend to fight with darkness and they tend to fight with fire. So finding some artifacts, if possible, that can generate light and are maybe fireproof, or help me out, guys. Is there anything else that we've noticed that they like? Some of them don't do very well with like fire. Some of them don't do well with fire. I've shot flaming arrows at some. Or holy water. What are the other weaknesses we know that they tend to have?
Silver. I don't know if that's related to.
Could run into some werewolves. Never know.
For the most part, the kind of cosmology and lore of this world points to silver as being kind of like a pure metal that will help against evil. So it would be a pretty safe bet to just get silver. You had that experience already with the candelabras and so on. But if you were to acquire your own silver weapons, you have some already because Ronaki gave you the cutlery set. But if you were to acquire a more silvered weapons, especially ammunition, would probably be very useful.
All right, so we're in the big city. We can shop for pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
What's the technology level? Like, can we find a flamethrower?
A magical one is likely. You might be able to find what is called alchemist fire, which is not exactly magic and it's not exactly mundane. And so that would be a good place to start as well. If you go to one of the gnomish shops that kind of dot the world, you might be able to find something that will be like, so alchemist fire is probably closest to like what they used to call Greek fire. And so you have what we like, nobody knows how to make Greek fire anymore, at least as far as I've known, but gnomes do. And so they make this alchemist fire, and they've cultivated the use of what is called a super burner. And it's just this gun-like device that you use. It's a pump action, and you shoot someone with it, and it just sprays them with this like burning liquid.
Yeah, we should find one of those.
That'll do.
Boom, flamethrower. I'm in. I mean, it seems like they fight with fire more than they are harmed by it, but I'm down for a flamethrower at any point, so let's do that.
And if you wanted to, the super burner can also be a super holy water soaker. It's just you put the potion in.
So the same weapon can do double duty. The same weapon.
Yeah, a super soaker,
fire and holy water.
Yes.
Oh, that has Wolfpack all over it, doesn't
it? It does. The only problem with it, though, is that I am a tiny person, where the volume of water I'm able to carry is really small. It's like a Nalgene. So I might not be the best person, but I wish I were. Oh, I wish I were. I want to put one on the back, on Ronaki's back, and then just master blast this.
Kalhiri could totally like carry the super soaker and toss it to you in a bag.
Let's go find the super soaker, then worry about who's going to carry it.
Okay.
For a nominal fee, they'll also give you a camelback that you can use to put into it instead, and then that way you're just ghostbustering it all over the place.
Word.
Like a real Super Soaker
Fantastic.
now.
All right, let's go.
So
Let's go
where do
shopping.
we go shopping for these things? There must be like an alchemist shop or like a.
I don't know, Calhiri, where do we go?
Yeah.
Well, when I was here before, there was like a wizard's room, so.
Let's see. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to see if I can't drudge up a map of Magnamar, which is going to be so big that it kind of won't especially matter, but like it'll be fun to like pretend that it does. So
Ish, I don't suppose Gertrude has an outpost here, does she?
You know, if you were to look hard enough, you might find a Gertrude who specializes on all manner of potions, liquids, magical and otherwise.
I would love to like check Calhiri's contacts and see if we have a way to find out where we might find that.
Why don't you go ahead and just give me a D20? Let's see, sorry, I'm jumping between. Okay. Okay. So with all of that, you do recall that one of your contacts has raved about this potion shop, and you've never heard anyone talk up a potion shop like this before. In fact, you'd be hard pressed to think of the last time you even cared enough to go to a place that just specialized in potions. But you find yourself in the position that you need, potions and magical liquids of all kinds, and B, have it on good authority from a friend that this is probably the best you'll ever find.
Let's go. What's the name of it?
So let's see. I am going to say that the name of this potion shop is Serendipitous Serums.
Nice.
Spelled that way. Okay, cool.
So you are there, and there actually seems to be a line. So apparently this place is rather popular.
Or overhyped. I mean,
it could be a Krispy Kreme donut situation. You never know.
Exactly.
The brunch in Portland situation.
Exactly. I was just thinking of that episode of Portlandia. Or was it a double episode, actually? I think it was like a rare two-parter.
Oh, that's right, because they're like, yes, I remember that one now.
Are they just in line for like a whole 2-part episode? Like, yeah, okay. That was my favorite part. You just drink coffee, you're hungover, talk to your friends, and stand outside in the rain. What's not to love?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds lovely. So it really does. I'm not being sarcastic. The line is not like wrapped around the block or anything. There's like 4 or 5 people waiting to come in. Do you all just stand in line and wait?
Well, yeah, Calhiri does for sure.
Sure.
So you hear there's a group of people kind of like ahead of you, as you would imagine, who are talking about all manner of things related to the potion shop. And it kind of has the air of like, oh, I'm going to get a potion and it's going to improve my life. Or, oh, I talked to my astrologer today and they said that if I get a potion from the shop, it's only going to mean good things, and so on and so forth. It's almost kind of like these people are coming here not for someone to sell them a potion, but they're coming here for a life coach experience.
Oh, fuck, it's fantasy goop. It's and you got a funky smelling candle, are they?
It certainly seems to give off that vibe as you are standing and listening to this group of people. But finally, your turn has come. You enter the potion shop, and you see a bedraggled dragonborn woman who she looks overworked. She is old, and it's kind of sort of hard to tell with a dragonborn when they're old, but like it's fairly obvious with her, her scales have kind of lost their luster. She does have kind of like these scaly bags under her eyes, as you could imagine, like kind of like rhinos do sometimes. But as soon as she sees you, she kind of realizes that she has been slumped over her counter, and she perks up and goes, "Oh, new customers. I've never seen you before, and this is fabulous. Most of the people who've come around here, well, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Gertrude. I am the proprietor of this shop, and I am just thrilled to pieces to meet all of you. I am so happy to see a fresh set of faces that I've never seen before. It hasn't happened for quite some time. As I was mentioning just earlier, there's been kind of a revolving door around here. The people who come in day after day, and it's fabulous. It's fantastic. I get a lot of word of mouth, a lot of repeat business, as you might imagine. But you all have fantastic auras. I could tell from the moment that I looked up to see you. I'm so sorry that you saw me in such a state, but please, I have already said so much, and you have said so little. What is it that you have come in here for?
Gang, we're gonna need to keep our receipts.
Well, you guys, Gertrude is the best. Gertrude is an amazing character.
So do you want to give them the breakdown of Gertrude? Like,
yeah,
I don't want
so
too much.
Gertrude, in another game in another world, basically often gifts the shoppers with like bonus potions and wild card stuff. She experiments with things, and in another game, a wild card potion ended up yielding a benevolent red dragon who became part of our party through a bizarre series of events that ended up with someone rolling 100 on a D100. And so the wild card potion was enacted, and yeah, anyway, Gertrude is wonderful and very benevolent. Like, she's not shady as fuck. She's a little flaky, and definitely is experimental. Like you really don't know what the fuck her potions will do, but they are not. They can definitely fuck up an enemy sometimes, and sometimes they just, will create a rainbow in the room or whatever. But it's always worth seeing what Gertrude has on display and asking for her suggestions.
Well, I'm wicked into a rainbow grenade, if that's a thing.
Absolutely. So Gertrude is just kind of like leaning her hands on her, or her head on her hands expectingly, just like she seems so like excited. She's like just, brimming over, but she's waiting for you to tell her like what you were here for, what you would like, so that she can
Flash grenades and a super soaker. Flash grenades and a super soaker. And anything fireproof. We need something that will cast light, very, very bright light. Actually, also a flashlight if you have that. Has that been invented yet? A torch. We need a torch. In some sense. We need something that's going to cast continual light, and we need something that's going to cast extremely bright light, like a flashbang. And then we need a super soaker for holy water and silver things. I have a list.
Greek fire.
Maybe some normal health potions as well. Just to throw those in there.
Arrows.
And any seasoning salts that you might have that we can take a look at, like a nice rosemary salt with some
seasoning
lemon.
Salt. Yes.
For her fish. She wants Old Bay. Do you have any Old Bay?
And fish, that is my favorite meal of all time. You have to share some recipes with me. I have very likely 24 different varieties of seasoning salts. I can talk to you ad nauseum about them. It would be fantastic if we had some time. I would love to take you to brunch. Very nice places here that are brimming over with the different brunch platters, and it's to die for. We could have mimosas. You could have all of them. They're not my thing. It might be the citrus. I don't know. But the seasoning salts, when you say that, that takes me back to my girlhood. That is why that's why I collect so many of them, you see. But I'm getting ahead of myself once again. You were saying some other things. She's already forgotten completely, like all of the other requests.
Silver tip arrows, flashbangs, or some sort of flash grenade, some sort of torch, and something that will spew either fire or water. Either way, something with a pump.
So she's really a potion shop. So we're looking for like the Greek fire, the holy water, like the things that I don't know that she necessarily.
Holy water's good.
So she does say, well, there are some of those things that I can requisition for you. I have many contacts within the shopping district, and I can have it delivered perhaps by this evening if you are patient enough to wait. But I can fetch you the greatest deal on some of those things. Some of my friends are either gnomish apprentices or gnomish inventors, or inventors who are apprentices to gnomes. I forget which, but I will get these things for you, and I will quote you a good price. Now,
Fantastic.
let me see.
Do you have any potions that make people glow?
Oh
Or,
my,
like,
yes, I have about
bioluminescent?
70 varieties of them.
There we go. I would like some potions that make me glow really bright. I want I want to light up like a sparkler.
Is baby you're a firework?
So she does have many potions. She actually she dabbles in a little bit of magical research herself that isn't related to potions. Surprised though you may be of that fact, but she can grant you, or she can sell to you an ever burning hooded lantern. Basically, it's this like everlasting illusory flame that is like kind of packed in this little like hooded lantern that just shoots out a ray. It's just like kind of it's like a fantasy flashlight, if you will, and it doesn't need batteries.
Nice.
She does have potions of daylight, which are it's a misnomer. It's not actual daylight. So if you had it with a vampire, it would kill the vampire. But it does create a brilliant flash of light, which will dispel any darkness. So that's a thing that you could use. She actually, and she's very excited about this point, she has liquid daylight. Like, this isn't the same as the daylight potion. This is like distilled liquid daylight. You don't know how she did it. She shows it to you. It's liquid daylight. It's like Sunny Delight if it was made out of, the fusion reaction of the sun and the atom smashing. You get the idea.
What proof is it?
It's hard to say. No one's ever survived a taste.
Oh, you're not supposed to drink it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Just checking. Okay. All of
I
those
like the idea
things
of
sound
that.
useful.
Well, I heard two things. So, sorry, Chris.
No, Nora.
Oh, I just said yes. Let's get the liquid daylight for sure.
Okay.
Indeed.
The liquid.
And
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, one more thing. Do we have any potions for fireproofness?
She has potions of fire resistance,
There we go.
and those are relatively inexpensive. So
Perfect.
she can sell those to you very cheaply for about 10 gold a vial. She does say that they come with a slight defect that basically you'll have like a barbecue aftertaste for maybe a few hours after you take the potion.
Wait! I get to be fireproof and taste, and I taste I taste a lingering taste of barbecue in my mouth.
Mhm.
Is there
That's
a
a defect.
downside to this? This is
Only if
like-
you don't like barbecue.
I mean, who doesn't like barbecue?
She does add, and I assure you that it is completely vegan, so do not worry about that whatsoever.
All right.
I had a variety that made you taste gravy, but I couldn't verify the lack of animal parts in that one.
Okay. Magic torch, liquid daylight, fire.
So the
resistance.
ever glowing lantern is like a is an ever-glowing lantern, is a magical thing with a light that never goes out.
Correct. It won't work in darkness. The power of a darkness spell is too strong for it. But for like mundane activities, it'll work.
All right. Oh, and she can sell us silver bolts. Hello.
And I'm typing out some stuff in their prices and what have you.
Where do we have our purses? Where's our? Do we have the correct amount already just in here somewhere?
I have the 10,000 gold bounding in my inventory, and then
Oh, great! Do we make you treasurer? Because I'm okay with that.
yeah, because I have a big vault that I can access.
Didn't we have a previous, or did we divvy that up already?
I thought we divvied that up. I have 1,000 gold. I don't know if everyone else does as well.
I would presume that if you do, that everyone else does as well.
Okay.
Independent of the 10,000.
Yeah, I have 1,015 gold pieces, so.
I got 1,000.
And that's separate from the 10,000.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see this?
In equipment, there's currency is in your, like if you click on the equipment tab in your actions box.
Okay.
And it's kind of the top right for currency.
Oh, so right.
You know where you have actions, spells, features, and trades?
Yeah. And there's equipment. Well, I'm just looking for
Equipment,
gold.
and then in the top right corner of that, it says currency.
Oh, okay. It looks like.
Would you guys mind if I grabbed a bit more food real quick? My plane landed as soon as this started, so I didn't.
No worries.
Set up.
Okay, right back.
Okay, I've got nothing in here so far. So what should I have?
You should have 1,000.
Yeah,
1,000
click on
gold?
currency and add
1,000
gold pieces.
Okay. Any electrum, silver, copper, or platinum?
Just 2 gold for now.
Okay.
But can we have can we just get everything we want and have Duratan pay out of the 10,000 to Gertrude?
Yes,
I'm
please.
completely fine with that. If she notices Duratan's ring, she offers to knit a ring cozy for it.
Oh, to keep the ring warm.
Yes.
Reaction.
That would be lovely.
No wonder the line for this place is so long. She is not efficient at all.
Gertrude is a full service potion purveyor. Yeah.
Yeah, full
Okay.
service, but like maybe she could afford to hire somebody. Like, just saying.
She has had apprentices in the past, and they don't last, although you're not sure what the circumstances of that is.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is I believe that I have done some passive resting while I was in line for this shop. Anyway, yeah, let's get some of the. I definitely want some silver bolts, and also some liquid daylight and all this stuff. Can we just get a whole bunch of it? How much can we get?
I mean, so
We have
she
10,000.
has to requisition all of the stuff that isn't a potion, but she'll get it for you, and so just tell her what to buy, and she can probably get you like up to 100 bolts. She can get you exactly one of the super soakers there in very high demand, as well as the backpack is the same thing. I feel like there was other stuff that I'm forgetting, and so if there is, just let me know.
There was liquid daylight, and then there was something else that was like a light generating thing. It was a magic torch, liquid daylight, and then there wasn't there
The
like
daylight potion,
daylight potion.
and that's something you can throw, and it'll make a thing of daylight that will dispel magical darkness.
Fantastic. That's
So
great.
the
All right.
liquid daylight doesn't work in magical darkness, but the daylight potion does.
Actually, the liquid daylight is extremely potent, and will do the same thing. It will dispel magical darkness, but its primary function is especially effective against undead and especially effective against what are called fiends, like the creatures you fought in the Glassworks. So if you like, it's like super holy water. Let's put it that way.
So we
Several
should
of those,
get,
please.
you guys, we have plenty of money. So let's get a bunch of daylight, let's get one each, daylight potions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's get everybody a daylight potion. Let's get 1 or 2 things of liquid daylight. We'll come back in a second to get a handful.
Well, I definitely don't want to go shopping again because this is dull. So why don't we get a bunch of daylight potions and then not do this again? I have the feeling we want to stock up. I mean,
Sure.
as long as the potion doesn't cost a lot to carry or whatever, you know.
Are we just getting all of the things we want from Gertrude right now instead of going anywhere else? Is that what we're kind of?
And
you want a comparison shop? Come on, man.
Well,
no,
she's keen to get you things from other places if you ask her.
Okay. I was just thinking about armor because my armor class is not that great.
Oh, fair point. Okay, so
So
we can look
Durachan
in the
could
stock,
get
sure.
better armor as well. Okay, so we have, so let's, I don't know, can Gertrude give us a bill for all of this? So if we get 100, we get 100 silvered bolts. We get the 1 super soaker and the 1 backpack. We get, how many of us are there? 6 when Finzor is here? It's Winna, Rift, Finzor, Duratan, Wolfpack, Kalhiri. So 6 daylight potions.
We're at like 1350, I think, with all that.
I'm counting out 3,750. The daylight potions themselves were 3,000 if you get 1 per each.
Okay.
Oh, are we doing the liquid daylight?
2 things of liquid daylight.
2 liquid daylights.
Oh, I miscounted. That was what?
Well, that's in addition to, yeah.
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 I think 2,300.
Let's get 2
Liquid
of
day
the
quills.
magic lanterns because those are kind of cheap. And then just a bunch of the potions. So let's get, oh, and we have to get plenty of the holy water and alchemist fire.
Mhm.
So let's get 100 gold pieces worth of, so 4 holy waters and 4 alchemist fires.
At least a healing potion each, right?
Oh, at least.
And I want you to know that she's going to throw in about 10 chaos potions for free.
Woohoo.
Awesome.
And
With the
some
chaos potion.
seasoning salts. No, I'll buy those.
Yeah, she has like a what do you call it? Like she's got like a sample, like a variety sample, and it's like, of course, it's not just little samples. It's like a big giant pack of samples. So you've got plenty of each kind.
I feel like I'm buying
The
fireworks in New Hampshire.
So
The chaos potions.
Let's get 12 healing potions. So 2 each. And how many greater healings do you think we need, you guys? None of us are really healers.
Yeah, Rift a little bit, but not. We don't have a cleric, so let's get a bunch.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're not a cleric. Like
I healed you guys pretty well a couple times, so whatever.
You did.
You're our
You-
clear.
Yeah,
You're
Daisy,
not-
not
We
a
are
comment
not
on your
casting
skills. It's just we
aspersions
just don't
on
have anyone
its
who's.
efforts at all. I just that would be good. So since they're more expensive, so let's do, like I said, 12 healing potions and 6 greater healing potions. We still have plenty of money.
Mhm.
Liquid day quills.
As far as armor, Gertrude can acquire for you some elven chain if you're interested.
Would it fit a half orc?
Yeah,
Okay.
there'd be no reason it wouldn't.
What would be the armor rating of that?
I will show you by giving you the link. And by the way, a chaos potion is basically like the runoff from all of the other potions she makes. And at one point, she was just going to like carefully, dispose of it in a very like careful and ethical way. But so she accidentally sold the potion, and someone used it, and they were surprised but very pleased with the results. So she started selling them, and it's just caused all kinds of crazy wackiness. And as you heard, like it can be anything from like making someone grow flowers in place of their hair, or it can turn someone into a dragon. So you never know what it's going to do. It's kind of the O switch, I guess you could say. Like if you don't know what to do, like throw a chaos potion, watch what happens, and at the very least, you won't be bored. Does anyone else want to shop for something that isn't potions and would like to ask Gertrude to acquire for them?
So, out of curiosity, I've got just leather armor right now, and apparently a fancy new dress. So should I upgrade my armor as well? Is that the kind of thing this would be a good time to do?
So the curious thing is that the armor functions like the Elven Chain, plus a bunch of other stuff. And with the added bonus is that it's not made of metal. So being a druid, you can wear it without restriction. Because usually druids have like a class-based ban on wearing metals. They just don't, because it's not what a
okay.
But because it's a dress, you can wear it and it's totally fine.
Cool. That is if I'm taking it. It's that we still, I guess, haven't figured it out.
Let's get a bunch of the fire resistance potions as well. Hold on, I'm typing out what I think we're buying, and then you guys can all tell me if we are or not.
What were the daggers from Desdemona made from?
So they appear to be made out of a special kind of lodestone that only exists on the elemental plane of Earth. And basically, like on command, they have this like weird wobbly gravity field that allows them to do more damage. So for 1 minute, instead of doing 1d4 damage, they do 2d6 damage.
Okay, so that's
and they still function. They still function as daggers. So like if you're a rogue and you want to deliver a sneak attack, you could still totally do that.
Cool.
And who got the daggers?
I think we split them up. One person got one dagger and someone else got.
Yeah, I think it was you and me, Kelly.
It might be in the last recap.
And if anyone would be so kind as to remind me next game, so that our missing party member will get a chance to shop too, and that I'm going to do the same thing in the Monday game also for wait. Never mind. It's a Sunday game thing. Never mind. I just forget what I said. Anyways.
Okay,
yes.
So this is what I think we just bought. Is there anything I'm missing?
That I haven't already written? Okay.
Well, is your stuff in addition to? Like when you said private.
I don't even know if she has it. I mean, we also forgot the spices.
Well, the spices are Rift specific.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. I got that.
I mean, does she have any hallucinogenic tea? Because, I mean, maybe that will be my private stock.
Oh, absolutely, she does.
Fantastic. So, one hallucinogenic tea for a wolf pack.
She'll give you a nice little like container of it for 1 gold. It'll last
fantastic.
Either a year or a week, depending on what your tolerance is.
Probably pretty low since I've been playing with this crew. Have not been doing my whole tea ceremony, and my tea tolerance has been out the window. I've just been fighting monsters, not at all getting high.
So that looks like a really good shopping list. For intents and purposes, you have it. Like the idea is that she gets you other stuff and you come back later, but we don't have to worry about the ins and outs of that. But she is.
Give us a grand total, just so we know, or so we take it off the 10,000.
Let me see. So I'm just gonna kind of figure this out really quick. So
and we're not nickeling and diming each other, right? Like if Duratan needs Elven Chain and Rift needs Elven Chain, that's just, we're taking this all out of our collective 10,000, right?
Well, I can just take that. If I'm doing armor, I can just take that out of my 1,000.
And I'll do the spices out of mine. Like, that's fine. But like, other than that, yeah, everything's like in a pot, works for me. Or I'll pay for whatever other people want.
I always believe in just splitting the check. So let's just.
Yeah.
I've counted out 3,444, which is weird because it shouldn't be an odd number, or not like a neat number. But anyways, and that's not including what people bought for themselves, which is, you can subtract that from your own. But does that sound at least close to ballpark?
Sure.
We'll round it down to 3,400 because Gertrude is nice like that. And don't forget to write down the 10 chaos potions.
How much is the elven armor ish?
Oh, the elven armor she will acquire for you for 500 gold.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're down to whatever that is. 6,600 is now what Duratan has left. And then all of us need to put like, we need to figure out who's carrying all these things, right? So each of us gets, and do we have to put them in our inventory? Like,
it might help just so that you can keep track of who has what with some of those things. Like if you want, hey, I have a fire resistance potion, I have a healing potion. And as you use yours, then you kind of tick them off or what have you. And we can worry about like I said, the ins and outs of that we can worry about later. Like I can go through the character sheets, I might do that like as soon as this game is over so that we, like everything is kind of like the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
oh, I put 6 daylight potions and then 2 daylight potions, and I don't know what I mean.
I think it was like 6
And
daylight potions and then 2 liquid daylight potions, which that's confusing. I'll try and figure out a different name so that they're decently distinct, but we'll cross that bridge of sunshine when we get to it.
So the way I see it, outside of all the super soaker stuff and the silver bolts, which we need to figure out who has that and blah, 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 blah. All of us, each of us has 1 daylight potion, 2 fire resistance, 1 greater healing, and 2 healing.
That sounds about right.
And then again, we have all the super soaker stuff and the liquid daylight.
And by the way, in case you were wondering or what it was like an idle thought, yes, you can load the liquid sunlight into the super soaker.
Nice.
If there was any doubt of that.
That's going to happen.
But all right, so I think that's good. So I will say that Gertrude doesn't just leave you and gives you a receipt and lets you walk out. And she says, anytime you're in McNamara, please come by the shop. Even if you don't wish to buy anything, I would simply love to be in your presence. And please come and tell me of the stories of your adventures and journeys because it gets boring in here sometimes. And your auras seem to replenish me. I'm ready for another 300 customers as we speak, only because I have had you in my shop. I would love to have you in here more often. Please, please come back.
We would love, and Kalhiri, for once is like smiley and gracious and is like, that sounds wonderful. We'll definitely come back and see you again. How many chaos potions did she throw in?
10. You can buy more, but she's just like, have these, they are yours.
And do we have to request if she has any like interesting experimental ones, or do we just assume those are the chaos potions?
For right now, we'll assume that they're the chaos potions. I think she'll probably concoct something really like interesting and neat for you next time.
Okay.
And just be like, here, have these potions. They're fantastic. They are fabulous. I thought of you as I was making them, and you will love them. But that's for next time.
Okay, great.
All right. So this concludes the shopping portion of our game, and you have met Gertrude, who is only going to be happier to see you the next time she sees you. But what would you like to do now? You've at least acquired quite a few things in your pursuit of fighting against Shantico and the forces of darkness.
We're going to the Dragonrite Temple. And I hear no one saying no to that, so apparently I'm in charge this week. We're going to the local Magnamar Dragonrite Temple, and we are demanding to speak with the manager. Or whatever.
So
what do they call the person? A priest, I guess?
You would imagine it would be like an archdeacon or like a head pontifex or some such, but yeah, there is a local church of the Dragonrite, and it's actually even more grandiose and amazing than the one in River Point. And the one in River Point, it's like the tallest building, the nicest building. Sorry. I said River Point. I meant Sandpoint. Yes, but
there's a River
this
Point?
building. This building is fantastically large. There are buildings bigger than it. This is a very like weirdly metropolitan city for being like this kind of medieval fantasy. But the Dragonrite Temple is massive. Has what would be gargoyles on another building are like these fantastically made and not ugly but majestic dragons, like stone dragons. And as you head in, you are actually kind of going against the crowd that is just about to leave what was very likely some religious service that was just held. And you see another elven woman who seems to be a cleric here. For whatever reason, elves tend to gravitate towards the, at least land elves, let's say, gravitate towards the worship of Dragonrite. And this woman is a little bit younger than Linnea back in Sandpoint was, but she sees all of you coming and she realizes that you're not part of the congregation, and she kind of moves to greet you and very calmly says, I sense that you have come here for counsel. Now, what is it that the Church of Dragonrite can do in service of you?
So I'm going to have I'm going to get up on someone's shoulders so that I can talk to her from the eye. Oh man, what's Jenny's character's name again?
Finzor.
That's right. Thank you, Finzor. So Finzor is going to carry me, and that's Finzor's punishment for not being here this week. Finzor is going to carry me like I'm someone very important, and I'm going to say, Like, do you and your church remember the threat once posed to you by Shantico and his dark followers?
Antico. That is a name that I have not heard in some time, and a disturbing one at that. But
If you
what dealings with the dark forces of Shantico have you had that you would have his name upon your lips? It is concerning, and do not misread me. I am concerned for you.
We have fought his deputies directly. We fought his agents, and possibly ones in direct communication with him. Shantico is back. You would do well by your people, as well as all the people of the realm, to not ignore our plea for help. We're trying to gather forces against Shantico, and already we have many giants on our side. Unfortunately, the giant community is split, with many of them giving Shantico an ear in their desperation. We need more. We need more help on the horizon. We need more forces ready if Shantico does make a play for Magnamar.
That is distressing. Our augurs have told us that there is something on the horizon, something dark, but we didn't realize that it was Shantico. We understand the Church of Dragonrite is on your side. If what you say is true, and I believe it in my heart to be, we will lend you aid. Please, come with me and we shall speak of this at greater length if you are available. My name is Archpriestess Lavender.
Well, Archpriestess Lavender, our time is short, for I am bored and want to go fight. But we can spell out the danger to you. So let's adjourn to the apps, or the vicary, whatever attachment there is to a Dragonrite Church, and let's discuss how we can help each other.
So she takes you into the Dragonrite Church and finds a nice, quiet, out of the way place, and speaks with you briefly but meaningfully, and kind of you exchange information. She tells you that the augurs have been saying that the Church of Dragonrite in particular is in danger from a source of great darkness. As augurs are wont to do, they don't have much detail. They only have these visions and dreamlike prophecies. But she does say that she can extend to you quite a bit of aid, as well as, let's say, a staff of assistants if you need it. But she elaborates and says, I understand that you have come to us asking for quite a bit of assistance, but assistance means different things to different people. What would be the most helpful thing to you right now? What can we do to ease your suffering?
We need troops and we need magic. We're going to need forces ready to go. In the case of a full out attack, you need to ready your guard. Whatever reserves you have, right? Activate all your assets and make sure that they are ready to go at a moment's notice. We don't know when, but they do need to be on alert. And the second thing is we are going to need magic from your best mages, warlocks, witches, whatever you got. We're going to need light magic, especially anything that you have that can fight darkness itself. Look into your books. What can you offer us that's already within? You already know that's within your power.
We can provide all of this and more, but tell me, where shall I send this detachment?
We need them at the ready. If you would gather them here, there is a portal back to Sandpoint. We may send a messenger directly to the temple. We'll make sure that it is signed with one of our names, so that you know that it is in fact us. But we will send word, and most likely we will have them go to Sandpoint. However, the danger might be to the north. We don't know yet. The danger might be, in fact, all the way at the throat of Mount Nimro, or Mount Nimrod. There might be call to travel a great distance. So unfortunately, we can't. We would say activate your troops, but don't mobilize them yet. We don't exactly know where the danger will strike, but they could. It's either going to be Sandpoint or it is going to be the volcanoes.
Understood. I shall ready these troops, and we shall be clear and available for anything that may happen. If you wish to speedily communicate with me, you could do so through Linnea at the Sandpoint Dragonrite Church. You think
Wonderful.
they've got like a magical line of
the matter, and your support.
Most certainly.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna send a raven, but sure. I don't know if you guys do we do ravens here. That's or light a bunch of bonfires on mountaintops. I don't know how it works. Wonderful. We thank you for your support, and for protecting your realm, and we thank you for the trust that you put in us. It will. We hope to repay whatever kindness you give to us in whatever way, and whatever small, humble way that our merry band can. In the meanwhile, listen for our word and make sure your troops are ready to go, particularly any magicians you may have in your employ.
It shall be done.
Thanks.
All right.
Do we need any other information? I know I missed last session, but is there anything else we should ask? We should be asking her.
Well, we always want to ask about the rune heart, right?
And one more thing on our way out, from behind.
Oh yeah, by the by.
Oh, and one more thing, he says coolly to the door. What do you know about the rune heart?
The rune heart. That is a different matter. What do you know about the rune heart?
Well, all we've heard is whispers in the wind. Now we know that it is some talisman of power that the giants are trying to get their hands on, and we are not sure if the giants are trying to get their hands on it for the right reasons. So any information you could give us about this rune heart would help us determine if it is a weapon to be used or a weapon to be destroyed.
I have very little recollection of the rune heart. You would understand that the part of me that is devoted to dragon rights is cautious about such a thing. The part of me that is an elf is not ever trusting of any weapon that contains runes. It is a deep societal feeling for elves, most of us. Many of us were destroyed by the power of rune items and weapons. If I were to give counsel on such a thing, I would say, please tell the Church of Dragonright, and we shall do what we can to contain and, if possible, destroy this item.
All right, we will keep we will be aware of it should we come across it.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
You know, see it around. Maybe.
Yeah, if we see it, we'll just kick it to the side and definitely not touch it or listen to it. All right, great, wonderful. Hopefully you won't hear from us. But if you do, we'll be specific. And with that, we are off on other business.
So yeah, you were seen off with a solemn but supporting nod from the priestess Lavender, and you're heading off. You have a pretty good feeling that if you were ever to ask to use the library in the Church of Dragonright here in Magnamar, they'd probably have something that is relevant. But for now, it sounds like you potentially have more interesting things to do that aren't sitting in a library and reading books. So are you all in agreement that you should go and pursue this situation with Duratan's father? You do know, just to kind of elaborate on that situation, you know, at least from what was said between Duratan and the alleged Shantika within the book, or channeled through the book, that Duratan's father is being held, as you see on this fabulously detailed map, in the Gromek war camp that is to the northwest of Sen.
We're on the hypotenuse map. What are we on? What map are we on here?
Oh, did I not switch it there? Maybe I didn't.
No, it's the hypotenuse map.
Yeah, it's the hypotenuse.
Okay. Well, that sounds like the maximum amount of adventures, so I cast my vote for Duratan's dad.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, you know, we're also really good friends, so let's go help him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're bonded now. It's a bad idea, but we're going. It's our only lead.
So, unless there's anything else that you want to do in the in between,
Wait, on our way out of the church, can we get some holy water for the super soaker?
Sure, they'll give you 10 vials.
Fantastic.
For free.
10, but fantastic. We're filling the super soaker with holy water. Just wanted to make that a detail. All right.
Well, we did buy holy water from Gertrude as well, but yeah, let's.
I know we paid for it like suckers. Could have gotten it for free at the library or Dragonright Church or whatever.
We'll just have them fill up the backpack with it.
That's right, the camelback.
You can think of it as the tip for Gertrude for her.
Gotcha.
It's gratuity for her gratuity.
Nice.
But that being said, my imagining is that you all take the portal, go back to Sandpoint, maybe check in with various peoples in Sandpoint, maybe not, I don't know, and likely start the march out to the Gromek camp. Does that sound about right? Is there anything else that you want to put in the in-between, and any marshmallow to put into that peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Anyone think of anything that would help?
The only thing I can think of is checking up on the spooky door with the giants. But if the giants are guarding it, then we don't have much to worry about. But I
Back
feel
in
like
Sandpoint, nah. That's. I mean, your character would not want to do that before saving your dad, right?
Yeah, you got a point there.
Your character. I get it. You would think. I mean, yeah. It's a fine idea for you, Sam. But I think Duratan would want to save.
No,
her
that's
dad.
fair.
All right.
Thank you, Christian.
So you magically land in Sandpoint. You maybe check in with someone. I don't know that. We'll leave the details of that for later. Speed off. Would you take mounts with you just to make the journey go more quickly? Would you not bother with them?
I'm riding the pig.
My pig?
Oh wait, did we leave the pig in Sandpoint?
I think you did. You were worried about like potential dangers in Magmar.
Which was a great call, by the way. Good fur mama, Winna. That was solid. We were in danger. It was not a good place to bring a pig.
Is Ronaki back in his Ronaki form, or
when you've returned to Sandpoint? Yes, he has switched back to his normal Magogor form.
How's he feeling with the heart?
I mean, more or less the same. He has redoubled his efforts to resist the heart, so he's better now. He has decided not to imbibe any alcoholic libations for the duration of his contact with the heart, and has been fine so far.
Okay, and Kalhiri's definitely keeping an eye on Ronaki since she's touched the heart and knows how scary it is.
Do we want to grab Bogart for the journey? Because the owl can ride on me, and I can ride on the pig. It's going to be a whole Musicians of Bremen type situation.
You're gonna scare the crap out of some robbers.
Exactly.
Does Bogart have, Bogart has autonomy. Can Bogart choose whether or not to be Wolfpack's conveyance? Steed.
If you were to put it to Bogart to decide, Bogart would be fine with that.
I'm asking Winna. I think Winna. It's Winna's pig. Winna gets to decide if Bogart comes along for the ride.
We can't hear you, honey.
I say yes.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Pig's back in the gang.
Okay.
The rest of you, are you taking horses? They're readily available. But are you just gonna ride out?
Sure.
So we'll say that. So you started the morning with brunch and a really creepy book. You proceeded to go shopping and go to the Dragonrite Church. Now you've come back. This is all the same day, and it is sunset. You're literally riding off into the sunset as, you are heading over towards the Gromek war camp. It is approximately 2 days ride, and it's going to be even sooner to catch maybe what is like the Gromek scouting parties, as they are given to doing wide sweeps and making sure that nothing's approaching like you do. What is going to be your tack as you approach the Gromek war camp? Do you want to sneak in? Do you want to kind of go in guns a-blazing, so to speak? Do you want to maybe do a third option that I haven't thought of, but you have because y'all are creative and interesting people?
Well, so we know where Duratan's dad is being held in the camp?
Yeah, given the circumstances, I will even say that Duratan knows the tent that he's in right now.
Oh, well then I think we should be sneaky.
Yeah, and Chantico said that he was gonna make it pretty easy for us to go in and out, theoretically.
Well, to be clear, Chantico said, I can tell you where your father is, and he will be safe until you find him.
Okay, yep.
So just throwing it out there for planning, Kalhiri has a +8 on both stealth and deception at this point, because we upped when we went up to level 5.
Very nice.
Yeah, just so you guys know, she can be sneaky if you need sneaky.
Excellent.
Here.
Does that level 5 apply to Rift as well?
Yes, sorry, everyone went up to level 5 at the end of last time. That it was level 5, the dress and shopping, and I'm sorry we didn't emphasize the level 5 to you.
I forgot about that too myself.
No, that's totally fine. I'm the one that didn't read the update. I just left my phone in a room and ran around for 4 days. So
I wish I could do.
Okay, so I will change that.
I need to edit my character.
And by the way, if you are a martial class, which I think technically, so Rangers get the second attack. Fighters too, so that would be Finzer when Finzer returns. So you'll get a second attack, which is really awesome. I was gonna say Duratan too, but I forgot you're not a Hexblade. I always want to say that you're a Hexblade when you're not. Those who have spells can now access 3rd level spells, which is kind of a big deal. We can kind of fiddle with that as we go along. But it sounds like you want to go the stealthy route, so I am going to ask everyone to do what is called a group stealth roll. And effectively, it's like a democratic roll. As long as the majority of you succeed, then all of you do. So everybody needs to make it, but even if you botch it completely, as long as a majority of your allies succeed, which, wow, some really good rolls right out of the gate. Right. we had to build some dramatic tension. That's okay.
Duratan farts in the dark and it catches on fire.
Oh my god.
Accidentally let out an Eldritch Blast.
something swamp gas something. So that's enough though. That's those are particularly good rolls and like really those of you who are more sneaky are covering for those of you who aren't, like holding someone back before they step on a giant twig, shushing, like very strategic shushing, and just making sure that, like, holding a finger under someone's nose before they sneeze, that whole bit. But you have managed to make your way. You have had to abandon your horses. Gromek have this instinct, and you would all know this from Ronaki, but Gromek has this instinct that when they see a horse, they swoop, because they will just eat horses. They have no need for horses for a conveyance, but they will, like, find and eat horses anywhere they can, because it's like a delicacy to them.
Like the Italians.
Is Ronaki sneaking with us?
He is, if you ask him to. I'm assuming that he is, but like, unless you tell him, hey, stay back, like, beat it, Buster, he'll stay with you and help you out. But I'm presuming he's there, and you all are sneaking around. And in fact, I do need to roll his stealth check, which
What's
could.
that book? It's they shoot horses, don't they? Is that the name of it? So this chapter, they eat horses, don't they?
It sounds familiar, but I can't think of it.
Same. I think they shoot horses, don't they? Sounds right.
Which got turned into a movie with a better name. What is it? I gotta look it up.
No, the film was named that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the name of it.
Oh. Jane.
Wow, what a premise. The film focuses on a disparate group of individuals desperate to win a Depression-era dance marathon.
Really?
But with the...
It's practically us.
We switch gears.
Okay, yes, right. Thank you.
So that was our pop culture segment for the night. So y'all inch closer without your horses, as I mentioned, for those reasons. You get close to the actual war camp itself. You've been hiding for what feels like days, but really has just been a matter of hours from the swooping and flying Gromek scouting parties. You've gotten up to the strangely tiered Gromek camp. They build these like makeshift wooden platforms that kind of keep some of their tents at different elevations. You're not sure if it has to do with you're not sure if it has to do with like ranking, or maybe it's some kind of like a strange ritualistic thing. But the tent that Duratan's father is in, and one would presume the rest of the party that is still alive from Duratan's father's expedition, are in an especially tall wooden framed tower with a tent at the top of it, and appears to be heavily guarded. It's possible to sneak up to this tower quite easily, but the climbing up into it is going to be especially difficult without being noticed.
Unless you're me.
It does a thing where you can walk up walls.
Or if you're me or Rift, we can shapeshift.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Actually, there's a ton of us who could get up there.
Yeah.
And then Kalhiri is just stealthy, so that counts in.
So it's up on a huge wooden frame?
Yes. Like, if you could imagine just like a straight up scaffolding, and then at the very top there's kind of like a covered tent, like a domed tent.
Mm-hmm.
Like a mast in a crow's nest. I got that. No problem.
Cool. Can I send Strawberry up there to do a little reconnaissance and warg into her?
Yeah, I would say so. Not the easy prospect you think it is, but give me a stealth check for Strawberry.
Okay.
So you notice that as Strawberry is flying up there, the Gromeks are drawn. You think they've got a very prominent, what we might call lizard brain, and they just notice the movement, and they're very keen to focus in on things that fly for kind of obvious reasons. So they're watching Strawberry as it's approaching. Do you want to change your tack, or do you want to press on?
Well, I want Strawberry to appear as just an owl. Just an owl doing owl stuff. So let's not get too close.
Give me a deception check if you want to see if maybe that will help you owl through your
I literally have a -1 on deception.
Oh boy.
Oh, straight up 0.
All right. So no worries. You realize that you're gonna have a tougher time with this than you thought, and I presume just like have a Strawberry just do like silly owl things for a little bit, and owl perches on a lower tent and just kind of like, starts grooming like, hey, I'm just an owl. Don't pay attention to me, which works at least for the time being.
It's not total deception. She is an owl, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you still get to have that in spite of your 0 roll.
Yeah, right. Saving grace is the deception was not a deception. I just wanted her to appear natural.
Yes. So what would the rest of you like to do? Any tricks you'd like to employ?
Hey, I'm wearing a dress of shadows.
Yes, you are.
How can I use that to cloak myself as I climb this mast?
Yes, and it's been kind of a nebulous passage of time, but it's actually like dusk right now. So the shadows are kind of growing long as the sun is kind of sinking into the horizon. But you can attempt to climb up and use the shadows to your advantage, basically climbing from the side opposite of the sun's dying rays, and just using that kind of shadow to your advantage. So if you want to do that, go ahead and give it a shot. I will say you can make a stealth check with advantage. So before you click on it, make sure you hold the shift button, and that will give you that.
Okay.
Real quick-ish, how tall is this structure about?
It is actually about, we'll call it 40 feet. It's the tallest of the towers.
Okay, because I do have fog cloud, which is basically I can create a 20-foot sphere, a 20-foot radius sphere of fog. So if we want a little more, I don't know if that would be suspicious to the Gromec though.
It could potentially
coming in.
Can I cover other people with my shadow dress?
I would say you could probably cover one person or like 2 short people.
Ooh, we have
Two short people. You wanna get under my skirts here, and we'll just shimmy up this flagpole?
I thought you never ask.
You weren't here when I described the dress the last time, but it actually, like, if you've seen like the Mexican dresses where they can kind of twirl them and the skirt actually comes out like way far, I'll say that they can kind of wrap that extra length of the skirt around themselves, so it'll at least be less awkward than that. So they can kind of just crawl up beside you.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much Riff likes wearing large dresses of that kind, so we may have to rethink this concept because a dress like that is not good for climbing up riggings. In the meantime, I'll just leave that to everyone's imagination. What happens under the skirt stays under the skirt. So we can.
Also, probably not great for
does that
swimming.
mean that me and Winna can? Oh, never mind. Unless no.
Whatever you're gonna say, absolutely not. I refuse. So yeah, unless anyone else has a better idea, Duratan, do you want to get in your ring? I'll carry you up too while I'm at it.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
And while all of this is happening, Kalhiri, you're just naturally skilled. Do you want to try and just follow Rift and use your own natural stealth to see if you can climb up?
Kalhiri will get up there, I promise.
Okay, so let's do this. Rift, I only need you to make that stealth check because you're basically covering for 3 other people, which is good. That's fantastic. And then Kalhiri, you do yours. This is not a group check, so you will fail or succeed independently of each other.
And Finzor, I assume we're leaving in the shrubbery?
I would presume along with Ronaki, because Ronaki is not the most stealthy of people. And it might be good to just have two really tough people hang out back behind you in case you need some kind of cover for an escape or some such.
Okay.
So I'm doing stealth, yeah.
Yes. Ooh.
Calhiri will get up there, I promise. Okay. Okay.
So
that's pretty stealthy there. Look at that.
that's really that's really good. And then if you want to, you can only make this better. Whatever you do, it won't make it worse for a stealth check. I will say Rift, that's with that stealth check. Oh, very nice. You almost slip off of the rigging, and Kalhiri is there in an instant to like cover your mouth before you like let out a gasp or a yelp as you almost fall, and keeps
blame
you
the
from
skirt. You can't climb in a skirt.
So you each of you makes your way up the rigging in one manner or another, and you take advantage of the changing of guard of the Gromech, as there's like, so you can imagine this like a square rigging that goes straight up and down, and on each there's like tent poles on each corner that the Gromech kind of like grab onto and are perched like gargoyles. They fly away, and you have just a moment to get up and into the tent before another group of 4 Gromech comes in and perches as this like rotation. But you get yourselves into this tent. You see that there is one especially large, and I mean like this kind of rotund Gromech, who appears to be like a jailer of some sorts, is asleep, and is like has got like a whole barrel of ale that he's been drinking from, which for him it's like still an inappropriate amount of alcohol, but not as bad as it would be for any of you. And you see a very informal prison, which is just like a handful of cages, and in each of those cages, Durtan's father, a number of other folk who have been brought along with this expedition, all human, by the way, and the famed, the infamous, the world-renowned Rystrom Kedges.
Who?
If you remember, there was like that diary, and I told you, hey, read this thing, and it was like this terrible, like, oh, the giants killed all these people. But he's this like explorer, historian, David Attenborough kind of person that goes like all around the world and talks about all the various different cultures. He was the one who basically decided to go on this expedition into Mount Nimro, learn more about the giants, maybe potentially figure out how can we be friends with them instead of like constantly being at odds. But got his expedition into he didn't necessarily get them into a lot of trouble, but they got into a lot of trouble and got captured. Then the Gromech came and beat up the giants that captured them, and then they took these guys hostage, and so it's just been this like wild conflagration of different things happening. And so now you're here, they're here, you could potentially rescue them, but it's going to be a tricky means of escape.
Well, can
we should have gotten sleep.
Can we put them all in the ring or no?
Can you?
I don't know.
No.
I think it's Duratan only for now. I think maybe at some point you can do that, but not as yet.
I think at level 6, and if I went into the ring to get up, I can't use it again until I get a long rest.
Are you aware of things outside of the ring while you're in it?
Yes.
So you're perceiving this, and you see your father.
Yeah.
Did you give him a name?
Yes. Ball Punyon.
What?
Okay.
That's your father's
The
name?
name of your dad?
Yeah.
Wait, is he an orc or a human?
Is he human?
Oh. So how hot is your mom? Like, is it like is she like a particularly attractive orc or what? How did that work?
That's
people
not
are
fair.
just
That's
correcting
not what a
us, right?
gnome needs to be asking right now.
don't know that. It could be very relevant. Okay.
So the snoring of this Gromek jailer, who Gromek's already huge, and this guy's just like a mountain of flesh, just hanging out, and then just snoring as loudly as you can imagine. It just kind of cuts through the conversation and presses the very urgent nature of your mission. How would you like to proceed? What would you like to do? Some of the humans have noticed you. Rystrom is sleeping, as is Ball, and the humans who have noticed you are choosing not to react loudly. You think in the normal situation, be like, help us, hey, but they're just like, and then they don't like, they just kind of like mime things, and they're like, help us, but they don't say anything because they don't want to give the game away.
Can we slit the sleeping jailer's throat real quick just to make, or like, do you need an extra Gromek in your dagger, Winna? You already have one. You got one already? Yeah, you're fine then.
2 Gromeks. Yeah.
2 is better than 1.
But we could use that
Gromek
Gromek to replace the shift of the jailer.
We can use that Gromak to do what?
To act as the incoming one to replace him.
We could take the Gromek out of the blade that listens to us and make that the jailer, and put the other one in the blade. Yes.
Like it. It's a heist.
Well, we wouldn't put the other one in the blade. We'd
Finally.
just send him off to go to bed instead of being drunk on duty.
Oh, I was gonna slit his throat and hide him in the tent. But yours is good too.
Why wouldn't we take him? Why couldn't we just swap Gromek for Gromek?
Or in essence, what you would do, unless you left that other Gromek here, you could have 2. You would just rescind the summoning of the Gromek, get back into the blade.
Why not until another monster comes along? And then
How many things can she have in the blade?
3.
And what else do you have? You have one other thing, right?
A little dancing ant monster. That was distracting in the corner that one time.
Yeah.
Didn't he get killed though by his?
I thought he got killed.
Yeah, so I don't believe he's in the dagger any longer. So if you wanted to, there's still 2 slots left. You could, if you wanted to, in the process of slitting this jailer's throat, put him in there, and then that would give you at least some variety. And plus, it would just be really funny to have like a big fat Gromek on call.
A big fat drunk Gromek. Would he stay drunk?
Yeah. I will say yes, because that's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
We could just have them escort us all out at that point. We have to.
Potentially. You very well could.
Try it.
And by the way, Sam, I just saw the name that you have because it was cut off because I had it in a small format, and I just saw the. You're very funny.
So how would you like to proceed with this? All very good ideas. I don't want to quash any aspects of this. I want this to be all what you have decided. So how would you like to heist these people out of here?
I say we kill the drunk Gromek, take him in the shard, release the one I have in the shard to pretend to be the jailer, as per Durotan's plan, and then see what happens.
Fantastic. So here's going to be the tricky part. I want all of you to roll attack rolls to basically like participate in this slaying of the Gromek.
So we all just kind of circle around him and start beating him to death. Type of deal.
You're all going to concentrate on one attack. This attack is going to be a critical hit because anytime you attack a sleeping creature, that's kind of how that works out. You will have advantage on the attack roll because let's face it, you could in a moment of nervousness miss, but it's not terribly likely. So I want to see how the attacks pan out and whether or not you do enough damage to kill this Gromek.
So where do we find an attack roll?
In your actions, like you would choose whatever attack. So like for instance, for Kalhiri, you could use a psychic dagger if you wanted to. You could use one of your short swords. Ooh, that's a particularly good roll.
And then do we hold shift for
Um,
the
You're
the
gonna-
crit's just on top of that. That's just for advantage, right?
yeah, so like you would just automatically crit. So you could roll the damage twice if that helps. Like for instance, when it did the dagger attack, she could click on the dagger and the pink highlight twice, and that would effectively be the damage and whatnot from a critical hit. Riff,
Short sword him.
what's that?
I'll just use my short sword.
That works. Riff, did you attack with the net?
Mhm.
Let's see.
Pin it down in place, make it easier for Winna to get in position for some jugular stabbing.
Excellent. Kalhiri, would you roll that one more time just for like the critical damage?
So
Ooh.
roll damage or
Ooh.
roll the.
If you can just roll the damage, that would be great. But if you have to roll the whole thing, that's fine too.
Wolfpack, that was a very excellent, extremely subtle choice of weapon that you got there.
And no one saw that, right?
The piercing whip of light. That
I actually presume that Wolfpack decided to like garrote the big fat sleeping Gromac with the whip of light. So it's just like wrapped around his neck while you all are just like, you know, cutting it
Beating him
open.
up. It's a tiny little gnome trying to hold back a
Yes.
giant
So
winged monster.
there is a momentary thump as this creature kind of rears back from like the massive pain that you're inflicting right upon its throat, and then it just kind of falls over dead. And you think you hear some kind of a reaction from one of the perching Gromek outside. So what would you like to do now that you hear that?
Winna should get up the other Gromek ASAP and play dumb as him.
By the way, the fat Gromek does go inside the dagger.
Yeah, so then we would eject the other one and have him.
Where will all of you be? Are you just gonna like stand out in the open and be like, "Oh, we're with him," or how do you want to?
I'm gonna slip back inside with the prisoners, I think, just to stay under cover.
Can I still be hiding under Rift's dress?
What about the rest of you? Are you going to stand out in the open? Are you going to like stand and watch what happens between these two Gromek, or how do you want to react?
Kalhiri's going to watch what happens, but be at the ready.
Okay.
I'll go into one of the prisons.
All right. So one of the perched Gromek enters, and he's really grumpy, and he just says, "I just started my shift," and only Winna understands, because Durtan, you can read any language, you don't understand every language, right?
Correct.
So this is in Gromek, specifically the Gromek language, and so he just goes, "I just started my shift. What are you doing in here? Where did you get that mead?" And I don't know what Winna, what would you like to have him say? Like you can basically just kind of, you know, Cyrano de Bergerac this if you like.
Gonna say like, no, the boss told me I'm on duty. You can go take another 15. There was a mix-up. Everything's fine. You can go.
The Gromek kind of softens in his expression, which is hard to say because they kind of look like giant dragon Klingons. But he is less grumpy and says, "Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, but no slacking." And he just turns around, leaves the tent, and glides down to do something fun that isn't perching up on this thing. So you're for the moment, you are free of Gromek intervention. There's still at least 3 Gromeks outside of this tent watching for anyone coming in or out. You've got one corner that is not being watched, and that might be to your benefit. There's still cages here that need to be opened, although you have the jailer's keys, which even for the largest of you is like this massive, stupidly unwieldy key. How would you like to approach the situation? Would you want to try and break them out, and if so, how?
Humans are we talking about? How many prisoners, including Duratan and Rystrom, or Duratan's dad and Rystrom, how many are there?
There are 6 in total.
Including Mr. Ball Punyan.
Yes.
Have you seen Ball yet, Duratan? Have you guys made eye contact? Do you know what's happening? Is it a moment?
I've seen him, but I think he's still asleep.
Oh.
And have you ever met in your life? Like, he doesn't know you, right?
We have met before, but briefly once a while ago. Most of my communication has been through his associates.
Went all the way into the Gromek nest to find this guy, just to find out that like he's just like technically your dad. Really? Okay.
I feel like we have a lot of unpacking to do with that relationship, but maybe here and now is not the time. I want to bust these other humans out as well if we can. If nothing else, they'll be a great distraction while we sneak out.
Throw them off the top. So are we 40 feet up right now?
Yes.
You are, yes.
Okay. I think getting out of this is going to be a real bitch.
There's got to be a rope somewhere. We all have rope. Can they shimmy down a rope?
We all have rope.
Yes, you
Okay.
absolutely can.
But we'd have
Given
to
the
shimmy the light up.
circumstances, if you use rope to shimmy down, that rope is gone because you're not going to want to climb up and unattach it and get it. So that will be removed from your inventory. But that is a fantastic plan, and I like it.
Unless we have our fake Gromek friend go up.
Well, it's only 40 feet, so we only need one of our 50-foot lengths of rope.
That's very true.
I feel like we got to take out those other 3 Gromek.
Well, would now be an all right time to do my fog clouds, so then we can at least get out undercover while all of them are kind of.
Yeah, actually, it would be a great time.
And can we maybe distract the other 3 Gromek?
There might be. There's all kinds of things you could do, especially given that you've got the one Gromek that is, inherently loyal to you.
You can just blind them with light. Super stoke them.
We could also distract them with an owl, have it fly overhead, and then sneak off the corner that doesn't have a Gromek under cover of fog.
And shimmy down the rope.
Let's
try.
Sounds like a plan.
And if all
else right.
Just do the
so is Strawberry willing to create a distraction?
Well, Strawberry can stay out of harm's way.
Strawberry can what?
As long as she can stay out of harm's way, I want her.
Of course.
So what it amounts to, and I'll kind of narrate what happens. You combine a number of very interesting and fun plans into one, creating the fog cloud, which is suspicious and weird, but enough to give you like the cover of escape. Strawberry creates another visual distraction, playing on the Gromek's ability, or not ability, but the likelihood of just kind of looking at things that move, playing off of their giant lizard brains. They just kind of more track, and then like they're basically caught looking between the fog cloud and Strawberry. You all shimmy down your. By the way, how did you get the cages open?
Oh, Kalhiri picked all the locks.
Okay, give me one lockpick check for all of them. You can use a sleight of hand. Fantastic. Yeah, you do that. these locks are so big you can use your short sword to pick them, and you just kind of like do this Zorro motion to each of them, and they just pop off. But you get the prisoners out. They're pretty bedraggled. They weren't treated great by the giants, and they're not being treated great by the Gromek. So they're all just like disheveled, out of sorts, walking as if they have club feet and so on. But they at least have the wherewithal to shimmy down a rope. And you do. Give me now. I want to make this interesting and exciting. I want 2 people to make stealth checks. Well, I will take one of them for your group, and I will take one of them for the prisoners that you're rescuing. And so you will effectively sink or swim based on those. Because if they find the prisoners, that's bad news for you. If they find you but not the prisoners, that's still bad news for all of you. So Wolfpack, fantastic. Somebody else want to give me a stealth check? This was a 15 from Kalhiri.
Yeah.
Okay. So who wants which to be which? Do you want the Wolfpack roll to be for the prisoners? Do you want the Kalhiri roll to be for the prisoners?
Well, I mean, realistically, the Wolfpack role is probably for us because we're not as bedraggled.
That makes sense. So y'all are in the process of getting these prisoners to safety, kind of moving across the outer edges of this camp. The good news is that there's not like a fence, because the Gromek aren't like that. They're like, we fly over fences. What do we care if somebody like comes at us this way? But one of the prisoners, let's say Ball, gets spotted by a Gromek, and you hear, all of you see him point the Gromek that is at Ball, and speak a word of Gromek, which it's easy enough to understand. He's escaping, and 3 Gromek start to convene on Ball's position, and you're very sure that given enough time, more will do so as well. Do you wish to? Well, of course you want to intervene, but how would you like to do so?
Try to have the Gromek like calm them down somehow or distract them. Like, could our Gromek go say, no, there's other prisoners this way, and try to divert the attention a little bit? Or do we just want to fight?
It's up to y'all.
That's clever. I like that. But I also want to fight. So I'm,
So I'm gonna make one of my world famous homemade maps, and we'll kind of suss this out. If nothing else, you'll probably benefit from having like at least a visual representation, even if you don't fight. But all of you put yourselves, I'm gonna give you a hot pink triangle so you know that that's where you're supposed to be. The brown triangles are these like towers, and let's see, where are my Gromek friends? Okay. And then I will say that you have your Gromek, your not fat Gromek, should have a name, I think.
Oh yeah. Like Brutus or something.
I like Brutus. I gave him a little shield icon to show that he's an ally. Let's see, what have I got? There was something else I was going to put on here. Just for the sake of having someone here to represent Ball Punyan, I'm just going to put someone on the map.
So are we already on the ground at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So Finzer and Renaki would be able to see this a little bit away.
Totally.
Cool.
And
So-
where are we in the? Oh, never mind.
So at the very bottom left of this map, can you all see this map with a Gromek on it?
Yep.
Go ahead and put yourselves on the hot pink rectangle.
Who's Krigor?
Did I? Oh, that was Krigor. I don't know why I made him a character. Krigor was the strange alien creature that was talking to Desdemona Knox in one of the back rooms. Probably not the last time you'll ever see him.
I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys.
Okie dokie. So these three Gromek have kind of descended and they're not sure what's going on. They see Ball Punyon. Y'all are kind of sort of hidden, but if you want to like pop out and do something, you can. And the allied Gromek, what did we call him? Brutus. He is ostensibly going to talk his way out of the situation, but at least you're certain that these Gromek know that Ball Punyon is a prisoner that should probably be up on that tower. So how would you like to play this?
Can we maybe use some magic here? Like,
I've got.
I can Eldritch Blast my way out of it as usual.
I've got Thunderwave, healing, and Guiding Bolt and Earthbind. So Thunderwave, I can like blast them back. I learned it from watching Duratan's Eldritch Blasts earlier. And then Earthbind, we can like actually like grab them and like hold them in place. And then Guiding Bolt is just shooting them essentially with little light bolts. So that's the magic I have handy. Can also turn into a creature. Ooh, I could turn into like an elk, throw Ball Punyon on my back and run into the wilderness.
are you going to be my Patronus?
Apparently I'm Ball Punyon's Patronus right now.
He's given some serious black vibes, this Ball Punyon. But yeah, you absolutely can. I'm all on board with that. And that would get him out. The question is then they would try and follow you, but an elk would be pretty agile and fast through the trees where as good as they are tracking, you'd have a pretty good shot at running away and getting away from them. Do you want to do that?
It's up to the team. Winna could also do that. And then that leaves me here for healing spells. Or we just club our way out of this.
So let's see. Duratan, you have a flash of brilliance. You think that if you were to pretend to be your father, and so Winna and Rift would turn into elks, your father would get on one, you would get on the other, and you would kind of let go and try and fool the Gromek so that they would be like, wait, what?
I do have disguise self, so I can just disguise myself as him.
Perfect. Do you want to do that?
Sure. That sounds like a good idea.
Is everyone else keen to that? Fantastic. So if Rift was going to do it alone, I was going to have like a roll off to see if the Gromek could follow. But with that flash of brilliance, there's no problem. They are confused enough, and the rest of you are hidden, so it's not like they see you. And you escape well enough and get to where Ronaki and Finzor are. Now, here's the interesting part. When you get there, Duratan, you hear a voice that says, my side of the deal has been concluded.
Shit.
Did you like my idea?
It sure led us to him, didn't it?
Most certainly. But now I will take the first part of my deal, a pound of flesh. And you see what appears to be, you all are away from the Gromek and safe from the Gromek. You see a massive beast rise out of the shadows. The sun has set. There's like maybe a little bit of twilight still there, but the shadows are of course cloying to the trees. And you see a massive beast formed of shadow. And it says, I am going to test your limits for as long as I deem appropriate. This is all in Duratan's head, by the way. Like no one else. But you do see this shadow. So the let's see. Now I'm going to make another map. You know what? Let's do something different. Winna, did you have your Gromek follow you out?
We can't hear you, Courtney.
I said yes.
So sorry. Yeah. So you have your Gromek. You have Brutus with you as this all is happening. But let's see. Why can I not find? Oh, here he is. All right. So this, we'll say it's that big. And
What the fuck is that?
that is the massive beast composed of shadow.
Oh,
And everyone can see that, or that's just
yeah. Most assuredly that is seen by everyone.
Great.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom now before this gets any hairier.
Sure. Why not make these trees a little bit bigger? So this, shoot, what did I just do?
can we actually have 5 minutes? Because my dogs are losing their fucking minds.
Yeah, by all means, please do. While you all do that, I'm just going to set up this battlefield a little bit more prettily.
Is armor blue or green circle?
Armor is the blue circle.
Thank you. I forget every time.
No worries. I had to think about it.
Oh.
All right. There's probably a better map than I've had in ages.
It's very lovely. Thank you.
We'll say Ball Punion is back here with Brutus. Let's give him a nameplate. I added all those happy little trees.
Oh, hi.
So we need to roll for Arcana to figure out what this monstrosity is, because it's freaking beautiful, and I don't even want to fight it.
So despite it looking like a demon owl, it is purely composed of darkness. So you wouldn't even like Wolfbeck would not consider it like, oh, this is a beautiful creature of nature. It's not. It's beautiful in its own way, but it's unnatural as all get out. It's not something you'd be like, this belongs here. No, this does not belong here at all. If that helps.
All I need to hear. Not that totally helps. It doesn't violate the creed.
If you want to make an Arcana check to know more about it, feel free to do so.
I'm gonna roll Arcana. Hell yeah.
Wow. So there are many creatures that are composed of darkness. This is one of the chief creatures composed of darkness. It is called a dark zoo. A zoo being kind of like the air equivalent of a leviathan or a behemoth. But you believe that if it was an actual zoo, it would have blot out the sun. This is just kind of a facsimile, but it is still a very powerful one. These things are generally created and commanded by gods of darkness. So you think Shantico probably sent this. It's a pretty safe bet. Either that or you've pissed off another god of darkness and may God help your soul. You're muted, by the way.
Christian, you're muted.
Huh?
Oh, you were
You were
muted.
saying something in
Sorry, my Zoom goes in and out after I switch rooms. It's I remove the microphone and it just goes haywire. Anyway, I'm glad we know we're fighting a big boss. Awesome. So, are we fighting this thing this week, or are we?
I did want to put that to everyone. And I feel bad. I was hoping to get you all into combat before I got much later. But it is 9:30, so we can make that call now if y'all like. Like we can put this off and have the fight start immediately as soon as we start the next session, or we can do the fight now. And whatever you all would like, I'm totally keen for.
I'd kind of love to have Finzer in battle.
I know Finzer would definitely like to be in this combat.
Is
So
anyone going to not be here next week? Courtney.
I just don't know what we'll be doing that day if I can pop on in a couple hours, but probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I vote next week because I have to get up and teach tomorrow. But I mean, I can do either. If I can suck it up and do the battle if you want.
I'm
No,
good.
okay.
You just do it next week, and I trust
Cool.
you.
Is that-
Question for you guys then, just to throw it out there. We chose Tuesdays because that was working for a lot of your work schedules, I think. But like, does that still work for does that still work for everybody? Because like, you know, we could for me, like I wouldn't mind switching it away from Tuesdays. It's not that important, but it'd be kind of nice to like move it towards a Thursday or Wednesday, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think the issue is that Ish has a ton of other games.
If it helps, I did recently get rid of a Wednesday game, so my Wednesdays are pretty open. In a pinch, I could do Thursdays, and I'm just trying to think of what else I have. Let's just say for now, Wednesdays are ideal if we were to switch it, but I don't know how the rest of you feel.
I just want to throw it out there in case other folks are thinking like a switch could work, and I definitely don't want to double book you or anything ish. So
no, that's why I bring up Wednesdays. Wednesdays wide open 100%, and then if either whatever happens, then my Tuesdays would be open, and it would be all the same for me.
I could do Wednesdays, I guess. I have a dinner planned next Wednesday, but otherwise they're pretty open.
well, we definitely also want to ask Finzor and take time to look at it. So we don't have to make this decision now at all. I just
Well,
wanted
if
to,
Wednesdays are bad for you, Christian, that's I mean, so are Tuesdays now bad for anyone?
no, just not the best. So and there have been a few conflicts, so I just figured I'd ask.
It's tricky now that there are.
Uh-oh. Sam, what about for you? How are your weeks set up?
At this point, I can do. I could do Wednesday or Thursday. That seems to be the two options for you-ish. Right?
I could move some things around and we could make Thursdays work if that's more ideal for everyone.
I could possibly make Thursdays work.
And if any of this is ever like, oh, that I would have to go out of my way to do, like, let us know, because you know we had it's the Dungeons and Dragons games are notoriously difficult to schedule for. So, you know, if you think that it's going to be a big ask, let us know, because we want to account for everything. But you know what I may do is I may do like a poll or a doodle poll or like a Survey Monkey or something. That way we get everyone's input, but we'll kind of put that to everyone and we'll figure that out for next week. Again, it's such a hard thing to get a group of people to do a given thing like week after week, and y'all have been fantastic about, you know, sticking to schedules and whatnot. Like, you know, obviously life gets in the way. So let's consider that. I'll send out a poll of some sort and we'll kind of go from there. Let's call that a session. You know, I'm going to go ahead and just very quickly end the stream. Thank you for everyone who's been watching the stream. Come watch me play video games on Thursday, and